the place where women could divorce any time they wanted. Imagine a world where women had complete control over their marriages. A place where they could walk away from an unhappy union without needing anyone's permission, without facing social shame, and without losing their children or property. This might sound like a modern fantasy, but such places actually existed in history. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating societies where women held unprecedented power over their own destinies. Hidden in the misty hills of northeastern India lies one of the world's last remaining matrilineal societies, the Khasi tribe of Meghalaya. For over 1,000 years, Khasi women have enjoyed rights that would make even modern feminists envious. In this remarkable culture, women don't just have the right to divorce, they control nearly every aspect of family life. In Khasi society, when a woman decides her marriage isn't working, she can simply ask her husband to leave. There's no lengthy legal process, no need for witnesses, and certainly no requirement to prove wrongdoing. The husband must pack his belongings and return to his mother's house. The children stay with their mother, as they always have, because in Khasi culture, children belong to the mother's clan. But the power doesn't stop there. Khasi women inherit all family property, pass down their surnames to their children, and make all major household decisions. The youngest daughter, called the Kakata, inherits the entire family estate. Men in Khasi society often joke that they are merely guests in their wives' homes. This system isn't just about women's rights, it's about practical survival. The Khasi believe that women are naturally better at preserving family wealth and maintaining stability. After all, a woman will always know her children are truly hers, but paternity can sometimes be uncertain. Long before Cleopatra ruled the Nile, ancient Egyptian women enjoyed remarkable freedom in marriage and divorce. From around 3000 BCE, Egyptian women could initiate divorce proceedings for virtually any reason they deemed sufficient. Unlike many ancient civilizations where women were treated as property, Egyptian women could divorce their husbands if they were unhappy, if the marriage was childless, or even if they simply fell out of love. The legal documents from this era show women divorcing for reasons ranging from domestic violence to financial irresponsibility to simple incompatibility. What made Egyptian divorce laws truly revolutionary was that women retained their property rights after divorce. They kept their dowries, their personal belongings, and often received a significant portion of the marital assets. Some divorce agreements even required the ex-husband to provide ongoing financial support. The famous papyrus documents from Elephantine Island show us the story of Miptahaya, a Jewish woman living in Egypt who divorced and remarried multiple times in the 5th century BCE. Each time, she retained her property and negotiated new marriage contracts that favored her interests. Her story illustrates how Egyptian law protected women's autonomy in ways that wouldn't be seen again in Western society for over 2 millennia. In the forests of northeastern North America, the Iroquois Confederacy developed one of history's most egalitarian societies. Iroquois women didn't just have the right to divorce, they controlled the entire political system. When an Iroquois woman wanted to end her marriage, she simply placed her husband's belongings outside their longhouse. This public act served as an official announcement of divorce. The ex-husband had no choice but to return to his mother's clan, often with considerable social shame. But Iroquois women's power extended far beyond the domestic sphere. They selected and could depose chiefs, controlled food distribution, and made decisions about war and peace. The clan mothers, as they were known, could veto any decision made by male leaders. If a chief displeased them, they could remove his horns of office and reduce him to the status of a common warrior. This system worked because Iroquois society was built around the longhouse. where multiple families lived under the authority of the eldest woman. Children belonged to their mother's clan, and men joined their wives' households upon marriage. This matrilocal system ensured that women maintained control over property, children, and community decisions. While Roman society is often portrayed as rigidly patriarchal, Roman women actually enjoyed considerable freedom in marriage and divorce, especially during the later Republic and early Empire periods. Roman women could divorce their husbands through a simple declaration called repudium. They didn't need to appear in court, provide evidence of wrongdoing, or seek anyone's permission. A wife could simply send a message to her husband stating her intention to divorce, and the marriage was legally dissolved. What's more, Roman divorce law was remarkably equitable. Women retained their dowries and often received additional property settlements. They could remarry immediately, unlike divorced men who sometimes faced waiting periods. Some Roman women became serial divorcees, using marriage and divorce as tools for social and economic advancement. The poet Martial wrote satirically about women who had 8 husbands in 5 years, while Juvenal complained about wives who divorced their husbands to attend gladiator fights with their lovers. While these accounts are clearly exaggerated, they reflect a society where women's marital choices were largely their own. In the Sahara Desert, the Tuareg people developed a culture that seems almost impossibly progressive by historical standards. Tuareg women can divorce at will, inherit property, and maintain their own tents and livestock separate from their husbands. Among the Tuareg, divorce is as simple as a woman removing her husband's belongings from her tent. The children typically stay with their mother, and she retains all her personal property. Divorced Tuareg women face no social stigma and often remarry quickly. What makes Tuareg society particularly fascinating is that it's the men who wear veils, not the women. Tuareg women are expected to be articulate, educated, and socially active. They compose and perform poetry, engage in political discussions, and play central roles in community decision-making. These historical examples challenge our assumptions about gender roles and women's rights. They show us that female empowerment isn't just a modern concept. It's a human possibility that some societies discovered centuries, or even millennia ago. What these cultures had in common was a recognition that stable societies require women's active participation, and that constraining women's choices often leads to social instability. They understood that when women have control over their own lives, families and communities tend to be more prosperous and peaceful. Today, as we continue to fight for gender equality around the world, we can draw inspiration from these historical examples. They prove that societies where women have true autonomy aren't just possible, they're often more successful and enduring than their patriarchal counterparts. The next time someone argues that women's rights are a modern Western invention, remember the Kasi women who have been divorcing at will for 1,000 years, or the ancient Egyptian women who negotiated their own marriage contracts. History shows us that the question isn't whether women can handle freedom and responsibility. It's why some societies chose to limit their potential in the first place.